Hey, this is Coach Zach of Baseball Stars. I'm going to do a quick pitching analysis for Sean next to Justin Verlander. So let's take this a couple of times through, try to sync these up the best I can. Okay, so first of all, I see a lot of potential in their pitching. I really like to work with guys on pitching. If you ever need help one-on-one with your pitching mechanics or hitting or anything like that, feel free to come see me, and I can work with you one-on-one in a private lesson. But I see a lot of potential in your pitching. Just work on some things, and I'm going to point out some stuff you can work on. So whenever you throw, there's two steps to your throwing motion. You have a stride and then a throw. You always want to try to separate your stride from your throw. So as you're striding, you don't want to be throwing the ball. You're just pushing through your legs, and then after your foot hits the ground, then you turn your chest and throw. So whenever you start your throwing motion, though, first thing you do anytime before you throw a ball, not just when you're pitching, but anytime, is you want to close off your front side. So closed is when you're sideways, and then open is when you start to rotate towards your target. So close off your front side. And then our goal with our leg lift, so when we're pitching, when we lift up our leg, our goal is to get momentum and speed with our leg lift. We don't want to get in a habit of lifting up our leg and coming straight down and then trying to go out and then get momentum. You want to lift up your leg and start getting early momentum towards your target. So as soon as that leg starts coming up, you start pushing, and you want to lead with your hips. So before that leg starts coming down, you're getting momentum towards your target by leading with your hip. And our goal is to stay closed while you're doing that. So when you lift up your leg here, let's see, and I didn't mean to clear those. Let's see if you're getting any momentum. So you lift, you start to crouch a little bit. You get a little bit of hip momentum right there. Now, when you start your delivery, try not to crouch. So when you start lifting up your leg, you start to crouch where your chest kind of comes over a little bit. Try to keep better posture. If you look at Justin Verlander, he keeps his back straight, and his head is kind of looking over his shoulder, and he keeps it there the whole time. You don't really see him crouch over at all. So that's another important point. And then let's talk about Tim Lincecum up to his front foot real quick, and then we'll come back to you. So whenever you throw, not just pitching, but all these mechanics I talk about, this is just how you throw a baseball, but it also applies when we're pitching as well. Our goal while you're striding is you want to stay closed as long as you can. So remember, you want to keep all these key points closed. And right before that foot lands, he's closed. The foot turns towards your target right before you land. And then you want to push off your back leg. So right before that foot lands, you want to extend your back leg and push all the way through. So when the foot lands, that's when the ball finally comes up into what I call the T position. Right here with your arms, it kind of looks like a T to me if you draw it out. And then, so the front foot opens, you push off your back leg, then the ball comes up right when you land. So a front foot strike, here's some key points you want to focus on every time you throw a baseball. Your goal is you want to push off your back leg and you want to get full extension. So what that includes is you're extending your back ankle, extending your knee, extending your hip flexor. And then you want to stabilize your front kneecap. So anytime you throw, you never want that knee to collapse or to move forward after you land. And then your goal is to land with your hips all the way open towards home. So belt buckle facing home. And you want your shoulders closed towards third. This is called hip to shoulder separation. The more separation that you have at front foot strike with the proper mechanics, that can help you throw harder with less stress on your arm. So this is the ultimate position you want to try to land in. So let's see how close you get to this position. Now, a couple things here. When you're breaking your hands, you're breaking your glove side where it's kind of like pretty much level with the front shoulder, maybe even slightly below. You want to break your front glove side where your elbow comes up slightly higher than your front shoulder. So if you look at Justin Verlander, that elbow is slightly higher than his shoulder. And the reason why I say this is because when you're pushing through, when that front foot hits the ground right here, decent timing on the front foot opening, what you want to see next is your push off your back leg. So right there when you land, your back leg pushes a little bit late. So a front foot strike right here, you want to already have that back leg fully extended. So you're not quite fully extended. That back foot still hasn't kicked through. And then let's look at your front foot. So your front knee, you want to stabilize that knee. So when you land, You don't want it to move. So then foot stops right there. The knee moves just a little bit, so you want to try to stabilize that knee a little bit better. And then here's the major improvement that you want to work on. What I see the most is you want to keep your chin behind your belt buckle when your front foot lands. Your chin is way out in front of your belt buckle. This is your biggest improvement you want to make, and just transferring your power at the right time. And you also want to try to have hip to shoulder separation. So you want your hips all the way open, which your hips are pretty much all the way open here, which is good, but then your chest is also open. You want the opposite. You want your chest closed with your hips open, okay? And that chin behind your belt buckle. So you're pretty close. Just a little bit more push off that back leg, stopping that front foot, and then getting your chin behind your belt buckle with separation. And then after your foot hits the ground, you want to drive your chest over your front knee as you start to go into your release, so your chest drives forward. And then your release is like a catapult. I hear a lot of misconceptions about how we want to throw a baseball, where I hear some coaches say, you want to release the ball out in front or get your release out in front. They always talk about where your release is supposed to be. You want your release to be kind of above your head, where your arm lays back and your arm rotates over with the release right above your head, right? Let me draw it out. With your release right there, okay? And then after you release, then you follow through. Your release is never out in front, and you don't want your elbow to lead out in front of your face when you release the ball. We're not throwing a dart ball. We're not throwing a dart, so you don't want to get that hand out in front. So let's see what you're doing here. So the arm lays back, rotates over. That's actually really good right there with external, internal rotation. Good throwing motion there. You just got to work on those key points that I showed you. Our front foot strike right here, pushing off that back leg, full extension, chin behind your belt buckle, shoulders closed. But you're super close. I see a lot of potential. I have a lot of drills on YouTube on pitching. I have about, I think, close to 30 drills on pitching on YouTube. So you can look up Baseball Stars. It's with a Z. And look up the pitching playlist. The drills that would probably be best for you, I have them numbered. I think drills number like 17 through 14 would be some good drills for you. Or you could always come see me and I can help you out with it. But good job. Good starting point. Just work on those mechanics a little bit. Reach out to me if you need help. You can message me on this app. You can just click the chat and you can send me a message if you ever need assistance. All right. Good job, Sean.